Let's do her.
All right, welcome to the podcast, John. Thank you for coming out. So we got John Bruyere on today. John, it was actually really interesting, kind of how this even all came about.
Right.
And I actually had because what I do is I make a list of everybody I think I want on the podcast.
Okay.
Just people that I think are really interesting, or I would like to know more about, or maybe just the community would like to know more about.
Right.
And so, especially once you bought the Rosebud General Store, that's when it really peaked for me because I've been looking at doing this podcast for a long time now.
Right.
So for everyone that doesn't know you own Shufire Safety in Owensville.
Right.
And then now you just bought the Rosebud General Store.
Correct.
So I would like to get into, and I think a lot of other people might want to know this too, the Rosebud General Store.
Sure.
What's your big plans with it? Because you've already done a ton since you owned it.
Right.
So, what's the big plan with it?
Well, and here's the thing. I've been in the gas business actually back when I was your age.
Okay.
I managed 4 Clark oil stations in St. Louis, and they were all full service back then. And so it was in my blood to do it
so
again.
you're very familiar with it.
I was familiar with the gas business, and and when it come about, that was when I was like, you know what, I think we're going to do this.
Did you approach Ron?
And actually, I did more than a year ago, and we were going to do it then. Well, and then he decided, no, I didn't want to get rid of it yet. Mm-hmm. So, another year went by, and then it was about January of this year. I was in there getting gas with my Shufire vehicle, and he come up to me and said, "Hey, I'm ready to get rid of it. If you're ready to jump in this thing." I said, "Hey, numbers work. Well, let's get it done."
Yeah, and he just put that brand new blacktop parking lot down, so that was super nice.
Yeah.
But it looks like you just had to cut a hole in it. What was with that? That's what I've been really
that was crazy. That was the craziest thing ever. What happened is they came out to drill to see if there was any contamination. Mm-hmm. Well,
is that part of just buying a new gas station?
Always part of a gas station because they want to make sure there's no contamination in the ground. Mm-hmm. So when they did it, though, they never actually came out and did a survey of the ground where everything's at. So they started drilling. They just started drilling in spots.
And when you say drilling, is it like just a small drill bit, or is it like...
It's almost like a well. It's like
it's a massive hole.
Yeah, they're drilling. It's not really. It's about the size of about 4 inches.
Oh, okay.
When it started.
Yeah.
Well, then what happened is they drilled into our fuel line.
Oh, so they made it contaminated.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So what happens
We lost like 400 gallons of fuel. So fuel all filled up this hole, and the only thing that saved us, because, Rosebud, this whole area is clay. So it was almost like that gas sat in a bowl.
Yeah.
And then they sucked all that gas out into that big tank that was sitting there for a while. Mm-hmm. So they sucked it all out, cleaned it out, and they only had to get about that much soil out of the bottom.
But isn't it going to be...
to get rid of the contamination that was caused from that fuel.
Oh, okay, because it didn't soak in enough. But
Right.
what would have happened if that happened? Because there's, you're praying that there's no contamination at all in the dirt. But I feel like it's very hard for any gas station to go that long without getting any contamination.
And it had a little of old stuff from way back. Okay. They said it was probably back in the 50s or 60s.
Wow.
Because
it's crazy that they can date it like that.
Well, they can tell because of by the soil samples that they do. Mm-hmm. So they checked it, and there was some old stuff, wasn't nothing. They were like, no big deal. But then when they hit this, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So and it's been so long, it's still not fixed as you see. Mm-hmm. Should be hopefully fixed this coming week.
Yeah.
They got a blacktop company coming out, and it's all been completely repaired, done.
So they paid for all of it.
All of it. They had to pay for everything. Everything.
Someone probably lost a job there.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually when we had the company that came out after they drilled, they located everything. Mm-hmm. You see the lines that are in the station out there. They located it finally. Mm-hmm. They said they were like 3 inches from hitting the power.
Dang.
Drilling. They could have killed somebody.
Yeah. Even hitting the gas.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you're drilling.
Yeah, because it's got a drill going.
Yeah. A spark just, poof.
That's all it would have taken.
That'd have been national
it was,
news.
I mean, it was just crazy. It was like, and it was a company that, and I ain't going to say the company's name, but it's a company that's been in business over 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like, you know better. It's like
Yeah.
you don't go into a gas station and start drilling without locating. But
Right.
when I got the locating guy out there and he told me, he's like, well, I can tell you why. I was like, well, what's up? He goes, well, it cost about $5,000, $6,000 for him to have me out here locate all this stuff. He goes, a lot of them companies don't want to pay it.
So they just skip
They
it.
start drilling.
Yeah.
He goes, but this time it cost them way more than that.
Yeah. And that's, hey, lesson learned,
that's
right?
a big lesson
I
learned
bet they
for
don't
'em.
do that again for a while.
No, they won't do that again.
Well, I think the Rosebud General Store, I think it's a big benefit that the tanks are actually out of the ground. Because that's a big
Major
problem.
benefit.
Because that's when I had Dan Breedman on, he was talking about how, he was going to buy Delano's or
Right.
one of those gas stations in
Right.
town, but it was going to be such a problem with the old tanks in the ground and
You
everything
gotta
like
pull
that.
them all out.
And we just talked about it. I remember thinking about it after, and I remember I was like, oh, Rosebud's the one gas station. So they might not be the prettiest,
No.
but you know what? At the end of the day, if you want to close it down and turn it into something else, it'd be easy to take those tanks
Yes.
away.
Very simple.
A lot easier than everything
way
else.
simple, because a lot of those gas stations that are like that, they could not ever make that residential. That could only ever be a commercial property.
The ones with the tanks in the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. But up there, it could be.
Yep.
Someone could just
Absolutely.
take them away.
Yep. Good.
Well, this is interesting right here, and I don't know if you know this. So back in the day, my grandpa actually used to own the Rosebud General Store.
Oh,
Did
I
you
didn't
know that?
No, I didn't know
So
that.
my grandpa, his name's Walter.
Okay.
He's from Creve Coeur.
Okay.
And so that's actually how I ended up out here, is because he liked the area out here.
Okay.
And he had bought the gas station, and there used to be a restaurant next to it that connected in it.
Wilson's.
Wilson's Restaurant.
That's right.
So it was
I
Walter
remember that.
Wilson, and
Okay.
he actually owned about like 5, 6, 7 restaurants in St. Louis.
Right.
And so he moved out here, and that's why they had the restaurant in it. And he sold all his restaurants from the city,
Okay.
and then he bought the gas station. And yeah, and it's
Wow.
actually what's interesting to me, or I thought was interesting, was so when I first moved out to where I'm at now,
Right.
I had ordered a part. I used to flip a lot of cars.
Right.
And I ordered a part. This is when I first moved in. And it went to the neighbor's house down the road. And so basically I never seen the part, and the guy ended up calling me. It was an older gentleman, probably, I think he was like 95 years old,
Right.
96 years
Right.
old. And he called me, told me I might have my part, and I went over there. I was just talking. It's literally, if you leave my house,
Right.
it's not the next driveway, but it's the driveway after on the right.
Okay.
And I went there, and I was just chatting with him, and come to find out, he's the guy that sold it to my grandpa. And then up the road to the left
That's crazy.
is Ron's house, who you bought the gas station
Right.
from. So it's just really crazy that everybody was just so close together.
Right.
And it is actually really cool to see someone locally buy the gas station.
Well, and we're not just that, but we're trying to keep it retro, trying to keep it older style to the back, where I don't want it to be way modernized. I want it to bring back some of the old. And that's kind of what we're doing with it. And that's why we got full service gas.
Yeah.
You can come in and get full service anytime.
Is every pump like that, or is it just the two
Pump
first
1 and
ones?
2 is, and it's Tuesday through Saturday, and we do it from 8 to 4 every day. And I actually have one of the high school guys that's going to come in, and he's going to work 4 to 6 now. So we're going to do it from 8 to 6.
4 to 6 in the afternoon.
And yep, he's going to
Cool.
work out after school.
Yeah.
He's going to come in and pump.
Oh,
gas.
that's really cool. So that's a high schooler, as an evening
Yep.
job.
Yeah,
That's
kinda
really
gives
cool.
a part-time job.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how are you getting your gas? Why are you getting your gas so cheap, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we pay the same price anybody else pays for it.
Yep.
We don't get any cheaper than anybody else.
Yeah.
My grandfather ain't in the oil business.
Yeah. Right.
And it was, me and my wife, we looked at it and we're like, you know what? We want to do something. Let's help the community.
Yes.
Let's, make it to where people can afford to go do something else.
Yeah.
because gas prices are high anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I always tell people we're cheap, but we're not cheap.
Yeah.
Gas is still expensive.
Yeah.
But we're the cheapest.
Yeah.
So, and we try to keep it that way. And I know Ron, when he had it, he was the same way. Always kept it down, as much as he could.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? Let's do this to help the communities out around here.
Right.
And it's been a success, and we've had people come in and say thank you. And it's, and that's what the whole thing's for. It's to help the community to where everybody has a little bit extra money maybe in their pocket to do something.
Yeah. And, maybe I think it all revolves back around in some way. I do the same thing at my gym. It was something that, there's so many things I wanted in this community, especially in the gym atmosphere, and supplements and wraps were one of those big things that the closest supplement or wrap store was 45 minutes away.
Right.
And it was MSRP or more.
Right.
And so I was able to be able to buy it in at a tier 2 wholesale price.
Right.
And I sell it, I sell some of it 50% off.
Right.
But there's not a single product that I sell that's not at least 20% off.
Right.
And I get a lot of people that think it's like some type of scam.
Well, sure they do.
And because they're not used to people doing that for them.
Same way with us with the gas. They think, oh, well, are you getting cheap?
Is it cheap?
Gas?
Yeah.
Is it not good gas
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's the same.
Yeah, just not as
no
greedy.
Different. Right. It's no
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's the same.
And that's exactly what I have to tell them is I'm like, I'm a gym.
Right.
I make my money off the memberships.
And you know what? And you're an individual, just like we are, that own it. We're not corporate.
Yeah.
We're not owned by no corporate company like a lot of the gas stations around the countryside are.
Yeah.
They're all owned by corporate. So
Yeah.
they're ran by corporate. And we all know how that is.
Right.
When you're ran by corporate. So,
Yeah.
and that makes it nice because we can do what we want to do with it, to make it that way. And we got more to come. It's really coming along, and people are going to like it. People are going to like what we got.
When you say more to come, what are you thinking? Can you disclose that yet?
I can't disclose it all yet, but we've got some things in the fire that I would like to. One of the things I want to put a nice gazebo up off the back side over by where the car wash is. So there's an area where people can sit down, relax. If they want to come in, they're on motorcycles, whatever. They can come in, they can go out there, sit down, have a snack, and relax.
Now, would that interfere with the entrance over there?
No.
No, you're talking. Was it detached from the car wash?
It's actually in the blacktop area there.
Gotcha.
So it's plenty. We got plenty of room for it.
Yeah.
And just want to make it where it's real community, where people can just come over. They want to go get a soda or whatever, a beer possibly.
Yeah.
They can go sit out there and have a beer or drink. Have a soda or whatever, ice cream.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves the ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't tell you how many times I come out there just to get ice cream in the
Just ice
evening.
cream, yeah.
It's amazing.
Good
And
ice cream.
Where else can you really do that around
Right.
here?
There
You
anywhere.
can't really.
No.
I mean, I know. Well, I guess you can in the Snowtown over in Owensville, you can go get an
Right.
ice cream over there, but that's about it.
Right.
That's about it. You can go in there and you can get an ice cream cone
Right.
for next to nothing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
hard to beat, and that's
Yeah.
some of the stuff that I think everybody wants you to keep around.
Right.
Like
And
that's
we're going to
what
keep
you're
all
saying.
that around. Everything's going to stay that way. We've got a lot of the old candy and stuff that's coming in now that people have seen and is going over big time with the kids, So
Mm-hmm.
we've got some of the old candies coming back, and that's going to be cool too. And then I keep a lot of local stuff. So we have, from just to give you an idea, the blueberry lemonade that is from Crooked Moon.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
his new
We have that local. We also have from Cop out here in Gerald that does the beef sticks and jerkies. We have all them in there.
Oh really?
So we are trying to keep it local with all the local people that have stuff that want to come in and that have a company. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is keep it that way. All of our hats and everything that are made local.
Yeah.
I don't buy them on Amazon
Yeah.
and have it brought here. We have them all done locally here.
Yeah. Keep the money in the community.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me too.
Yep.
Is just try to bring people back because I seen a lot of people leave the community to go find different gyms.
Right.
Because we didn't have anything 24/7. We didn't have
Yep.
that much equipment. It just wasn't that nice of a facility. There wasn't a
Right.
lot going on for them. And so that was my thought process was let's make a facility that people want to come
Right.
to. And then maybe instead of, because a lot of guys and girls driving to the city,
Yep.
whether it's Jeff City, Columbia,
All over.
Yeah, all over.
St. Louis.
And they're just finding gyms out of town. Well,
Yep.
all their money that they're making is going to these out of town businesses. So
Yep.
let's bring the money
it
back
back.
into the community.
That's right.
And because it all just keeps circulating. It's going to come back
Absolutely. It's
to
gonna come
someone
back.
somehow.
Yep.
And it's what helps us really grow.
Well, and and like I said, with the gas station business and doing the general store like we're doing it, it's bringing people not just here for gas and for coming in, maybe getting soda, beer, whatever, for all the other businesses that are in town.
Yeah.
All the antique stores,
Yeah.
all the little food places. You know,
Yeah.
you've got Clancy's, you've got
Lowe's.
Lowe's, you've got all of the little places that have all the antiques and
Yeah,
stuff in there.
the
And then we
boutiques,
and
the
then we have
boutiques.
the farmers market. I mean, it keeps everything there. So you're going to get people. Heck, I had people driving from Jeff City, from Washington, from Herman, from all over
Yeah.
to come get gas.
Yeah. Oh, just to get gas.
Just to get gas.
Wow.
To say, oh, gosh, we ain't got gas that cheap in a while. We're going to come over and get gas.
Yeah.
And then they end up going up into the town and going to the
Shopping.
antique stores, going over to eat, whatever. It
Yeah.
keeps it there.
Yeah.
And when you have a small town like this, that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do to keep it rolling.
Yeah. Now with Jerry building that RV park out there,
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good.
it's going to be good. And so Rosebud might have to step up their game a little bit. The city of Rosebud, because
You betcha.
if we could get some, I think just nice sidewalks where people could walk
Yep.
from the second you walk in the town to at least your business.
That's right.
And then if you
Walk
had the
or bike ride even.
or bike, yeah, have safe,
Yep.
nice places
That's
for
right.
them to go.
Yep.
And then you have the gazebo there where they could walk up there,
Right.
sit down, have
Ice
lunch
cream.
outside.
Anything.
Yeah,
I mean that's right, and that's gonna be a big thing. I can tell you when that opens up, that's gonna make that town it's just gonna be massive.
Boom.
It's
Yeah.
gonna boom.
Real
That
estate's
little
gonna go
town-
up, everything's
That little
gonna go
town's it's gonna be great for
Yeah.
Rosebud.
it's been growing so much already.
Yeah.
I meet people from all over that they know what Rosebud is,
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of sad that we lost
Kleins.
clients,
Yeah,
or was
or
it
Ruthie's?
Ruthie's?
Right. It was very sad because with my Shufire business, we run the whole state of Missouri with our fire. We do in-home fire safety with Shufire Safety. That's what it is, in-home fire.
Okay.
So we go all across the whole state, right?
Mm-hmm.
There isn't anywhere I've been out there that I can say, oh yeah, I live in Rosebud. Or, oh, that's that place that's got that food, that place where
Yeah.
we eat all the time when we
Yeah.
go through.
Yep. That's how
Everybody
people know.
knows. They all knew where that was at.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
How
it
many
really is.
people across this whole state knew exactly, oh, yeah, we've ate there before.
Uh-huh. When I used to work in Washington, I would meet people, and they would get up on Sunday and go all the way to Rosebud just to get breakfast because
I
they
know.
love that down home
Yeah, it was
that
crazy.
homemade meal,
Yep.
and it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was sad to see what
It was-
happened.
It's very sad that happened, and the town needs another place like that. It
Yeah.
needs a breakfast place.
Yeah.
And I think, from what I'm hearing, they're going to get one, I think. I think somebody said that they're going to be opening one.
But not the same.
Not there.
Yeah.
It won't be there.
Yeah, I think from what I understand, he's done.
Yeah.
You know what? I would love to get him on here. Steve,
Yeah.
do you know Steve very
Oh,
well?
yeah, I know him pretty well.
I never really thought about it, but I should send him a message.
He's been in the restaurant business a long time.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to retire. What's his plans are? I know he bought a building in Rosebud.
What's that?
Yeah, I know he bought a building in Rosebud.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because
And I think it's going to be I thought he told me a bed and breakfast, I think.
I could see that. Because
think
the
it
upstairs
is.
that had an
Yeah.
apartment in it.
Right. And
'Cause I used to
believe
know
he said
those.
he's going to have breakfast there.
Well, that'd be cool.
So,
That'd be cool.
I mean, that's kind of just what I heard. So,
Well, I think because I was thinking about buying and just put an Airbnb upstairs.
yeah.
With everything else popping off, I just didn't know what to do with the
Oh,
basement.
and you know how these Airbnbs are today.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
amazing.
They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, they're blowing up. I've thought about anytime I go anywhere to visit, I'm looking at the real estate when I'm there, because if I can get a good deal on one, and I'm checking all the other Airbnbs out,
Right.
and I'm seeing if they're renting out and how much they're renting for, and I'm like, can I make money off
Right.
this stuff? Because
That's right.
I love the beach.
Well, you know,
So-
I've noticed just in the amount of time that I've been here talking to you, and then I've seen how you got your business going there in Owensville, and I know you were in the car business selling cars, and I think you used to sell down in where the old Counts Ford used to be down in Union. Was you were you at that dealership?
So, no, I was at Jerry Counts over in Sullivan. I was
Okay.
auto body though.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I was the auto body side. So, and what I did was from 16 years old, when I bought my first car, I had saved up all my money from cutting grass. I saved $3,000 from like 13 years old all the way up
Okay.
to 16. I spent $3,000 on my first car. Well, I didn't know how to work on cars or nothing, but that $3,000 in that car was all I had.
Right.
And I think it was I think it was in me. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, but I realized I have this $3,000 vehicle. I could sell it, take the money from it, learn how to work on the cars.
Right.
And I could fix it up and flip it.
Right.
And so that's
Kept
what I
doing it,
did.
right.
And I took a lot of losses, and I learned a lot of things the hard way, but I ended up getting an auto body and,
Well, and you know,
doing
and,
it that way.
that's part of, you know, just being an entrepreneur. You know, as I say, because I've been in sales my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the gas business when I was young. Then I was out at Lost Valley Lake for 20 years as a sales manager out there.
Yeah.
And that was quite an experience, you know, out there. And then, you know, and then I got into the fire safety business, and it all surrounded around sales,
Yeah.
because everything you do in life will always have something to do with it.
What made you go from selling timeshares, right, at Lost Valley,
Right.
to doing the Shufire safety? How'd you come up with that idea?
Well, it was quite funny. I had a very good friend of mine that talked to me about it, and he was like, "Oh, you got to take a look at this business." He goes, "This is a booming business," and I was like, "Well," and I'll tell you, I'll be honest. At the time, when I was at Lost Valley Lake, right, we did a place down in Vegas. Went down there and looked at timesharing. I was going to maybe do some sales down there. Well, I had a guy come up to me, and I could have been the ShamWow man. They was going to hire me
Whoa.
to do the ShamWow
Yeah.
in California. They were going to pay me excellent money. I would have made, I don't know, somewhere around $250,000
Yeah.
back then.
This was before the guy on the commercials.
Yeah,
You could have been that
I
guy.
could have been the ShamWow.
That would have been insane.
And I was like, oh man, I was just like, I can't do it, because
Yeah.
they wanted me to move to California. And I'm like, that's not very much money in California,
Right.
because the price of real estate is
Yeah.
out the roof.
Right.
You know, so I didn't do it. You know, I stayed here. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. And so I just trained. I did a lot of training with people here. I did a lot of motivational stuff with people, and decided, hey, you know what? He talked to me about the fire safety. I went and looked at it. The home office is in Dallas, and they've been in business since 1971.
Okay.
In the fire safety business, which, you know, when it's a whole different atmosphere from coming from fun with the timeshare,
Yeah.
selling fun,
Yeah.
to now you're selling something that's saving somebody's life.
Yeah.
So
you had to relearn.
Well, and it wasn't really a relearn. It was just you dealt more with different people than you would in the fun business. You know, you had to learn, okay, you go from selling fun, which I kind of sold that not really as being fun. I sold it as, you know, families that stay together will always be together.
Yeah.
You know, and you play together, you stay together. You don't, guess what happens? You know, how many people have seen it? You know, I mean, 50% of the country's in divorce. So,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it tells you straight up what it is. And, you know, and that's how I always did it with some place like that, because people came out there to play, to have fun. And then with the fire safety, it's all about being inside your home and where you live, you know, and being safe and knowing that it's secure. You know, that, hey, something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're going to know what's up.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be like, whoa, what's going on? You know, we got a problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I looked at when I got into the fire safety business.
And how long do you have that? Because you still have it, but how long have you been doing it?
We've had the fire safety business now 12 years.
Wow.
We've had it 12 years.
And you've grown quite a bit too, right?
A lot, yeah. We do about 3/4 of the state of Missouri.
Wow.
We do everywhere. We don't go south as far as Springfield, Missouri, but everywhere else, all the way to Kansas City, all the way up to Iowa.
So you guys have guys out driving every day.
Every day, yeah.
And then you stayed home base most of the time.
Our home base is Owensville.
Yeah.
And it's just more, and it's kind of like a docking spot. You know, that's where our home spot is.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty cool. It's been, you know, when we were down in Dallas, and when we took that, we were the #1 dealership in the whole business of fire safety. Being in Owensville.
So is Shufire?
Shufire Safety was.
Is that your own business? Did you start that whole from scratch?
From scratch.
Gotcha.
That was a dealership for the company, and we were the #1 in the world.
Wow.
And
that's something to be proud of.
I mean, it was like, and people are like, Owensville, Missouri.
Yeah.
Where is that at?
Yeah.
You know, and we had people from New York, California, you know, Texas. I mean, these people, big people coming from all over going, oh my gosh, you guys are in a little town in Owensville, Missouri. How y'all doing that?
Yeah. Well, there's a few other people from Owensville area too that are just widely successful.
Yeah.
That are making some crazy things happen in a very small community.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't even know about it because your business is very minimal on the impact of Owensville itself. You're working with people all over.
All over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do it all over the state.
And that's exactly how these guys that I'm thinking of too. They're in the trucking industry, but they're absolutely killing
everywhere.
it. Yeah.
I mean, you look at some of the trucking companies around here. I mean, they're all over.
And it does make sense to have a business more out in the country, to me, than it would be to have it in the city, because you're going to pay so much more in the city. And if you can get the same amount of work done out here at a fraction of the cost, that's just
exactly
financial.
What it is.
Yeah, just financially makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Total sense. You know, and then plus you get to live in a small town community.
Yeah.
You know,
well, everybody lives in the cities.
I grew up in Florissant.
Yeah.
You know, and all my friends all thought, oh, well, gosh, you were a city boy. You grew up in the Florida.
Yeah.
And
that's where my mom's from.
City, you know, and I'm like, well, when I grew up in Florissant, it wasn't city. I mean, in my backyard, it was a cornfield. So,
yeah, it was totally different.
It was totally different than it is today.
My dad was born in 53, and I remember my grandma's house. In Creve Coeur.
That was country.
Yeah, they had this, I think they had like 20 acres roughly, and I remember they had it was right off of Olive too.
Right.
Big long driveway, just fields all down it with a barn and an old farmhouse.
That's right.
And then I remember just, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, my uncle, who's my dad's brother, he had just passed away. He still lived there on that property, but they had got bought, like a contractor had bought him out, all the land, over $1 million, and this is back in '99, and he got to keep the top lot for free, and they built him a house, and then now the whole thing's just big subdivision, and it's so crazy how much it's developed.
Oh, it's
absolutely insane.
Oh, it's totally. I mean, where I grew up is all houses all the way around it now. There is not anywhere around where I grew up there. It wasn't that way. I mean, heck, we rode our bikes down the Missouri Bottom Road and fished on the Missouri River.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it wasn't like it is today.
And now you hear gunshots.
It'd be like today, like you're out here, you go down to the Gasconade River or the Burbus and go fishing. You know,
well, that's what I tell people all the time too. Is I'm like, quit building so many damn houses. Some people are wanting to build 4 or 5 houses in a lifetime, and it's just that's so much.
Yeah.
There's only so much land, and then you either have to bulldoze it down to get this. It's nobody's bulldozing.
Clear all the trees out of there.
Yeah. And so that's, it's just crazy. Right. It keeps dwindling more and more and more down. It's just like not everybody needs to build a brand new house.
No.
And nobody needs to build 5 houses in their entire life. It's just crazy.
No.
So I've watched it even out here. Just the way everything's developed so crazily out here.
And it has. I mean, just look even down T Highway. how many new homes are built.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I made a mistake, and I bought this place with 20 acres, and I sold 15 of it off, and someone bought it and built a house next to me.
Yeah.
So
See, and you're like,
I was like,
oh,
yeah, I should have.
Yeah. Yep.
But at the time,
You didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it, and I just I didn't want the payment.
Right.
So I was like, I have nothing to do with
ah.
all this land, so I sold it off, and I guess I was just trying to be optimistic and
Sure.
hoping somebody would just maybe hunt on
Right.
it, or I don't know, maybe buy it back one day.
Right.
I did go to my neighbors first and offer it to them, and
Right.
even try to work some deals out. My one neighbor has a rental property, and I tried to do some trading. I'm like, I'll give you this
Right.
land, and I think the land was worth more than the property.
Right.
But they're just like,
Nah.
yeah, you make money on the rental properties.
Right.
You don't really make money on the land until
Yeah.
you sell it. So, yeah. So with the well, actually, let's talk about this. You're a car guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because I used to work at Seago's.
Yeah.
And I remember you used to have the business across from Seago's there.
That's
and
right.
that little,
That's where Shufire was at
Yeah.
originally.
and I remember that. You want another beer?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Are you big into cars? Trucks?
I've got some cars at home. I've got a couple of them. A couple of old ones. I got an old '54 Chevy Bel Air,
Oh, cool.
and then I got an old square body '86 Grand Prix.
Oh.
Which looks like it's brand new. It's a cool car.
Do you ever take them out?
Yeah, I bring
do?
them out. Yeah, we ride them.
You ever go on a little car cruise?
I've not been to any car cruises.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've got 3 old cars, and I've never been to a car cruise. Never been to a car. Well, I've
Show?
been to one. I've been walk around a car show, but
Yeah.
I've never put my car in a car show.
Why is that?
Just
Just
time.
have it.
Time. I think most of it's time, because if you're in those, you're sitting for 6-8 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not me. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm on the go. I want to move. I want to do something. And
You ever been to Magic Dragon down at the Lake of the Ozarks?
I have.
I'd love it there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Somebody had showed me that years ago, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago now, and I try to go every year.
Yeah.
Even when COVID was real big, I tried to go down.
We went down. We go to Bike Fest. We tried to go to Bike Fest down there.
Oh, you big on the bikes too?
I got a bike and I got a Harley that we've been down. We went down, loved it. Gosh, Bike Fest down there at the lake is fun.
That's what I've
Good
heard.
time.
It's an all week event.
Yeah.
Because Magic Dragon's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. I think.
That runs from like Wednesday to Sunday
Yeah.
for the Bike
And you
Fest.
can't. And the strip's packed full of bikes too.
Oh,
is
it's
it?
full.
Now it's got to get rowdy though.
Don't.
No.
No.
I just
I mean,
imagine.
it's just a good time. I mean,
Really?
people. I tell you, it's way different. You
Yeah.
know, it's not
Not
a
like what you
rowdy-
think.
No, it's not. You know, I haven't never been to Sturgis. Always wanted to. I have not been there, but it's not like that. I mean, just people just having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, that everybody's having a good time. You never see any kind of rowdiness going on. I mean, I've never seen it. And I mean, we went to the concert. We seen Whitesnake, old Whitesnake,
Yep.
you know, that played down there.
Was it down at the what's the campground down at the bottom? Like down below the dam?
It was actually right there by the strip. It was right down by the old strip down there. And they're redoing all of
Really?
that.
Like in a parking lot or something?
Yeah, it was.
Whoa.
It was cool. It was.
That is cool.
They're redoing everything down there now, where the dam is.
Yeah.
You know, that's all getting renovated.
Well,
Every bit of that.
In the past few years, I've watched them start
Actually,
to
I would
update
have
some
loved to
stuff.
have bought some one of those old buildings down there
Yeah.
early on. But when it went downhill, you could have bought stuff down there
Cheap.
fairly cheap. And now that stuff's way
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, kind of like Rosebud. What's
Yep,
happening in the
that's
Rosebud?
right, yeah,
Because
it's the
I
same
remember
way.
a time when Rosebud was nothing.
Yeah.
When I was younger, Rosebud,
Yeah,
nobody
like
went to Rosebud for
Rosebud?
anything.
No.
Yeah,
Now it's big and everybody knows it.
yeah, and it's
You know,
going to
it's-
keep growing the exact same way.
Yep.
And if you get some real estate in it,
Yeah.
it's going to be worth some money.
Yeah, I love the town. You know, we live in Rosebud. We live outside of town. Have lived outside of town for 30 years. I mean, it's just a good place to live. It's a good place to raise your kids.
Yeah.
Your grandkids. I mean, it's just it's a good town.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why speaking back, you know, of the general store there, You know, that's the main reason why we was like, yep, we're going to buy it. We're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and get it, and we're going to keep it that way, and we're going to keep it family oriented where people can come in, enjoy it. And I mean, people come in with their kids, they get ice cream, they get sodas, candy. Of course, you can get beer, you know,
Yeah.
you can get anything you want. And we put more liquor in there. One other thing that we are looking at is I think we're going to end up having ammo that we're going to put in.
That would be
So,
popular.
That's the next thing that we're looking at actually.
So the workers, do they have to have any certification to sell it?
No, that was what was kind of cool about it. We've checked into all of that, and you don't have to have an FML license or anything.
You don't even.
Not to sell ammo.
Just if you want to get a gun.
Only if you're selling guns. If you're just selling ammo, they've got to be 21.
So you probably couldn't even sell a gun because you sell liquor, though.
You could,
that
but
interfering?
you'd have to have a license for it.
Gotcha. So they'll let you sell.
You'd just have to have a
Seems
license.
kind of crazy to
for
be
that.
selling guns
Oh, yeah,
and
look
in the
together.
same place.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not like you're selling
But there's-
open
I
beers.
know there's places down south that I see that are, you know, they're like a liquor store.
Yeah, like I think Arts and Gerald, like
Yeah,
some
they
liquor
sell-
stores
yeah, they
used to sell stuff like
and they
that.
sell guns with it, you know,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if they sell guns, though.
I don't know either. They used to. They definitely used to
to.
sell
I
ammo.
know they used to sell guns, I think. But years ago, you used to see it in a lot of the gas stations.
Yeah, it wasn't
They
as
did.
strict.
They sold, you know, guns and stuff. But I'd like to have at least, you know, ammunition for, you know, hunters. It's a big hunting area out through here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where they can readily have it available, you know, because it's scarce. You know, we've all seen it where
Yeah.
it's been hard to find,
Yeah,
you know.
and that's a very
And
because
again, if you can keep it cheap enough, where
We'll buy it.
people will be able to come in and get it cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is it's everything I want to put in there. I want to make it where it is affordable for people to be able to come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I didn't grow up a rich kid.
right.
You know, we was poor.
Yeah.
My grandfather worked. My grandmother stayed home and raised us. That's what she did.
Do you
know?
use that as your motivation?
And that is my motivation. It's like
Growing up like that?
That's exactly where, from me growing up as a child, that's where it is. It's like
It
you know
never
what?
like that fire never really dwindled away.
No,
Yeah,
still here today.
And
Kind of
so-
like you talking about with your grandfather and
Yeah.
you know, and everything with the car and getting your
yeah. Because my grandpa was into cars too.
yeah.
He used to like flip cars and stuff like that as well back in the day.
Yeah.
But I didn't grow up. My parents had me at 40, and so my grandpa was 80s.
Right.
You know, basically when I was being
Right.
born.
Right.
And so I didn't really get to know him very well.
Right.
At a very young age, I didn't even realize to ask those questions.
Right.
It was other people in the community, and like my parents
talked to you
that,
about it
yeah,
all.
that told me about it.
Yeah.
And anytime I ever get an opportunity that someone knew my grandpa, I love hearing
wanna
about it,
hear it.
especially
Right.
whenever when they
That's
talk
right.
about when he was younger.
Yep.
Because yeah, I do think it's just almost engraved in me.
Sure.
Like people, because I'm right now I got the gym, but I'm the kind of person that I don't want to do the same thing
Over and
every
over and
day.
over. I know.
Yeah, it's
I get
it's
it.
too repetitive, and I get bored.
Well, that's kind of how I am, and that's why you know I like going up to the station. I'm up there. I see the people, talk to the people. That's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think if you do that with your business, it'll be very successful.
Yeah.
And it always will be for anybody that does that.
Yeah.
It's the person that owns a business that just wants the business to run without nobody ever seeing them.
Yeah, they just want the paycheck. So
Yeah,
they can go home,
it's
buy
not-
something
and
nice.
it's just going to be what it is, you know. And that's not the way I want it. I want to make it where people know who we are, can come in and say hi, hey, how you doing? How's it going? You know, and know me,
Yeah.
and know my wife, and know my kids, and know my grandkids, and,
Yeah.
you know, and then we know theirs when they come in,
Yeah.
you know. And
That's why I do my videos for like my gym. I do a bunch of videos where I take
right,
like just of myself and I just talk to the customers because I want them to know who I am, even if
Yep.
they're not coming to the gym.
That's right.
I want them to know who I am before they even come in. They see my face, they hear my
Right.
voice, they feel very comfortable, and I talk to them.
Right.
And I try to make sure I let them know, hey, I appreciate you guys.
Right.
I appreciate everything you guys are doing. This is
Yeah.
stuff I'm still working on.
Absolutely.
You know, everything's going good, and I just try to talk to them.
Yeah.
like they're people.
Right, and that's what you have to do, and that's what you should do. That's what anybody should do,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's just no different than having a gas station. You know, it's like I said, I appreciate all the people that come into our station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care if they just come in and get a nickel piece of candy.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate anybody that walks in that door.
You know what you did that's huge that I don't think a lot of people even like recognize probably? That 50-cent charge you got rid of on the debit card for $110. That is so huge. I hate when business owners do that.
Yep.
And I understand why they do it, but at my gym, I get charged just like everybody
We all
else
get
does for
charged.
using a credit card.
Yep.
But I take the hit every single time for the customer's benefit.
That's right.
And if there's a business that's making you have to pay that, I don't know.
I know.
I just don't think it's right.
I know.
And so once you did it, I was like, man, that is
It's
awesome.
like, nope, not doing that.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
I'll take the hit.
Yeah.
I'll take the hit for you guys.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's right.
I'm
It is what it is. You know, people, in a today world, it's a debit card, credit card business.
yeah.
It's just going to that. That's
Yeah.
the way it is. And is it still some cash business? Yes. But is checks? That's almost a thing of the past.
Right. Right.
You know?
I don't know hardly anyone that carries checks anymore.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what it was in one day when it was out there, you know? So, you know, it's just not, you know, and you have to look for the customer, and the customer, you know, is the ones that come in, they buy something. I don't care if they pay a nickel for it, if they go in and buy a 50-cent candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to put it on their debit card, well, so be it. They put it on their debit card.
Right.
You know, it's
Well, I
like,
think a lot of parents are giving young kids a debit card, and they only put maybe $100, $200
They
on
do.
it. And so
That's right.
the kid doesn't carry cash on him.
no.
But like you said, they're going to go in the gas station.
Yep.
And I think even I remember doing this as a kid. And I think in Rosebud it's still a thing. And I grew up in Gerald.
Right.
But I remember in the summer, my parents would work, and I would stay at home. But I could ride my bike or walk up to the
Right.
gas station and get a soda or
Sure.
get a snack or
Yep.
something like that. And I think kids are still doing that today.
Absolutely.
But they have debit cards now.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids have debit cards today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just part of it.
Yep. Or they have it on their phone.
Yeah.
They can run it right to the machine now.
Really.
Even off a phone. Yeah, it's crazy.
Just scans right off of
It's
it.
boom, done.
Well, it's safer.
You know, you're seeing a lot of you know, and that's the other thing is, you know, you have to be up with technology. You know that. You know, doing podcasts like this. You know, you got to be up with the technology today.
Yeah.
That is the technology today.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't go with it, you're going to be left behind. Mm-hmm. That's how it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's today world. You know, you have to go, okay, I got to go with it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be over here?
Now, do you do any social media at all?
I do some Facebook. I do a lot of Facebook out there, actually. You might have seen our Rosebud General Store
I haven't,
Facebook.
but I'll look it up
Yeah,
after I get off here.
It was big time. We did a free gas here just this, it was about last week.
Free
where
gas?
I did free gas, yeah. I did a free fill-up for the 10th person that walked in the door that said they seen us on Facebook.
Wow.
We saw it on Facebook. Free gas, you get a free fill-up.
Cool.
And we're going to do it again. So that's something that.
Oh,
that's-
people would love
that's,
that.
That's going to be good. And something else. I was going to show you, since we're talking about that, on the something that people can get out there. I know they see the Upside apps and all that. You know, like to hear people talking about that with gas.
Is
right?
that where they get money back for gas?
Right, for their
Yeah.
gas. Well, I will tell you, if they use this one, I don't know if they can see that. If they
Gas
can see
Buddy.
that.
It's
called
Gas Buddy. Yeah.
That's right. So this card actually goes to my account, right? But I can use this at any station.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
I can be out on the road. I can be here in Rosebud. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm here in Rosebud, let me see. I think I can even get out in here. See if I'll bring up Gas Buddy.
Say, I can give you my Wi-Fi if you need it.
I might need it. Yeah, I will need it. All right, what is it? Wilson?
Wilson 4764.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it has a capital W or not.
Wilson
4764.
764. Let's see if it lets me connect.
If it's not If it's not that with lowercase, then it's uppercase W in Wilson.
Let's try it.
Those things are such a pain in the butt anymore.
Oh, I know.
I don't even want a password on it. I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
Who's gonna steal it from me?
That's the way we do.
But it
Okay, I'm
made
connected
me.
now.
It made me make a
Okay.
password.
So if I go on here, oh, I'm getting all kinds of it.
Yeah, now you're getting service.
Okay. So let's go to find gas, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the Rosebud General Store, right?
Yeah.
Our gas right now is $3.59 a gallon, right? If I use my card, I get it for $3.54.
So is that like a?
It goes directly into my account.
But is it? Oh, so your card's linked to your account.
Yep, goes direct.
Your bank account.
I use this right at the pump.
So it's not. It's not like a credit card where you
Nope.
got to pay it off at the end of the month.
And it don't cost you nothing for it. There's no fee.
Wow. How does that work?
Zero fee because of all of the people. If you'll notice on here, you'll see like mobile. They'll have Home Depot. I mean, they give you discounts everywhere.
Oh, so they're making the money off the
Their
advertisement.
advertisement at the bottom. But you can see anywhere. I don't care where I get gas. I'm getting a discount. I don't care if I go to Gerald, if I go to Owensville, even if I go to Owensville. Even though they might be higher on Lincoln, they're at $3.74.
That's
or
cool.
$3.79. I'll get it for $3.74.
Yeah, so it's linked
still a
straight to
nickel.
your account to where
Yeah,
it's
and
coming
they
out just
send-
like a
and
debit
they
card.
Yep, and they send me that money back immediately every month. You get it all
Through
back.
so they reimburse you at the end of the
They
month.
send it right directly to your account. Direct
Cool.
deposit.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so it's a pretty cool deal, and that helps people even save more,
Right.
on
Yeah.
it. So
I'm glad you showed me that.
yeah,
I'll
so
probably apply for
so
that.
It's kind of cool, and actually, a lot of the people, I noticed it when I seen one of our customers came in.
Oh.
And they had the card. Well, I was doing full service because I go right out there with the guys and I'll pump gas.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll pump gas, wash the windows, do all that.
Yeah.
And one of the customers came in and she had that card. She goes, "Oh, I'm going to use my Gas Buddy card." And she goes, I was like, "How's that work?" And she goes, "Well, you just use the card." She goes, "You get an additional 5 cents off of whatever your price is." I was like, "No kid?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I get it all the time." And then I seen 2 or 3 more came in that was using them.
Wow.
And I was like, I got to get that card.
Yeah, it's amazing what people like figure out
Right.
to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
I've seen some apps that were like that, but they were like you had to keep your receipt and then you had to scan
Right.
the receipt and it was
This
a pain in
here,
the butt.
you don't have to.
Yeah, that makes it very convenient.
Yeah,
it's
because
just like
they
another
know
debit card.
you're using it.
Now you can use it at the pump too, right?
Oh yeah, use it at the pump.
Because
You
that's what
come in
most
the
people
store,
do.
You can, I think it even gives you discounts at Kohl's and all kinds of different places
Yeah.
too.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So it's a good card for people that just get gas. That's all you're going to do is get gas.
Yeah. Now, do you think it affects that everyone can pay at the pump? Do you think that affects your business very much?
I don't think so. We get a lot of people there that come in, and we thought about doing the prepay, prior to, because you get a few drive-offs from here and there.
Yeah.
Heck, my wife did it one time.
On accident.
and-
I've done it on accident
On
before.
accident.
Yeah.
She was talking and drove off, and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, I forgot to pay.
Yeah,
the
I
gas.
feel like such a criminal when I do it too.
But,
I feel like
I-
I'm gonna have the
and-
FBI just come
Right.
swat me
It's
after
like,
that.
oh, here we go. Look
yeah,
out.
yeah. It's
You're going to come take me away.
Yeah.
But no, and most of the time, it's people that's just forgot.
Yeah.
They were sitting there talking, maybe seen some people they knew,
Mm-hmm.
chit-chatting, the next thing they get in their car drive, oh, God, I forgot all about it.
yeah, yep.
So, and that's okay. It happens. Mm-hmm. And then they come in and they take care of it. So
Yeah.
we have not really had much problems with it. So that's a good thing. And,
Yeah.
And, and I think, that it gets people in the store from being out there when they're doing the prepay rather than, okay, if you prepay, well, to me, I get it, but it's also aggravating to people.
It is a little aggravating. I agree.
It's like, oh, great, I got to go inside, prepay, now I got to come back out, and then I
Yeah.
got to pump my gas.
Especially when there's a long line.
Yeah, when I can just put my card in and go,
Yeah.
You know, and most places are going prepay. I mean, it's hard to find places out there.
I
anymore.
agree, though. I do
You're
think
in the
it's
city,
the worst.
they have to. I mean,
Because everybody takes off.
Yeah.
Now, prepay, you're saying prepay if they don't have a card that they can pay at the pump.
Yeah.
You're saying like
they can pay at the pump with a card anytime.
all the time. You're saying if they want to put $20 in it,
you know, Rosebud General Store is open 24/7 to get gas.
Yeah. No, actually, I think the prepay thing is actually a decent idea
You do.
because of that reason.
Right.
Yeah. No, I actually do think. I think if I owned it,
It
I
brings
think that's
people
probably what
in.
I would do. Well, and yeah, like you said, people drive off. There's no way that there's no way for any other way.
Right.
If they would, if they
They
had,
have to pay.
they have to pay before they pump the
gas.
gas. And so,
Or if you're just putting your card out there, it doesn't matter anyway.
yeah. So if you don't want to go inside,
Right.
get yourself a damn debit
Right.
card.
Right.
You know?
Just do it right there.
Yeah. Go
know?
by the bank, put the money in
Right.
on your debit card,
Yep.
and then go to the gas station.
Right.
If you don't want to
Either
go
way.
inside that bad,
Yep.
I don't think the prepay is actually that bad.
It's not that bad. I just don't, we haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
You know, we might do it,
Yeah.
but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Well, it seems like it definitely stays busy.
Oh,
Do you think you'll ever have to expand?
You know, I'll tell you, I probably will never expand because I had talked to someone that he come in and told me, he goes, I've been in the gas business a long time, and he goes, I've seen these small stations that thought, oh, I need to expand. I need to make more. I got to put more pumps in. Got to have more pumps. Not enough. He goes, you think it works that way? He goes, it don't work that way.
Yeah.
He
So
said
just
they
stay in
started
your own
moving
lane.
more pumps, and he goes, then it looked like there was nobody at their station.
Yeah. Yep. I could see that. I could totally see
He
that
goes,
too.
Now, there's always people there,
Right.
and they see it. They're like, oh, we got to stop there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so,
Just makes it different.
right. And really, it's
And that is
busy,
kind
but
of
it's
a
not
sales
that
type
bad.
deal if you think about
Yeah.
it. It's how you look at it. It's like
Yeah.
people drive by and go, well, there ain't nobody there at that place. That place must not. We better not stop there, honey.
Yeah, maybe we'll
You
go to the
know,
next
we'll
gas
just
station.
move on
Yeah.
down the road, you know, and then all of a sudden, oh wow, that place is packed. That's a busy place.
Yeah. Why is everybody here?
Yeah.
And then they look up and they're like,
Well,
whoa.
yeah.
They're like, hit the
That's
brakes.
why
Gas is cheap.
We got to go back.
No, I think especially for anyone local, I know people that will go out of their way, come from Owensville or
Yep.
come from another town just to get gas there.
oh,
I
yeah.
know. I'll try to.
We've seen it over and over.
I
and
drive
over.
by it, though,
and
every day.
especially now that we're doing the full service, because no place does that anymore.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I wanted to bring it back because
Mm-hmm.
that is something you don't see nowhere out there. You know, and I thought if we brought that back again, it's more customer relation. I'm getting to see you, you're getting to see me.
Yeah.
You know, if the customer's like, oh, you're the owner? Oh, you're out here pumping gas?
Yeah.
You're washing my window?
Yeah.
Oh,
It also gives people like a special connection to be able to know the owner.
Yep.
People almost use that as like a sense of importance to them.
Sure.
They're like, yeah, I know
yeah, I
John.
know
He
John.
owns a
Yeah,
gas
he
station
owns
up
a
there.
gas station there
Like
in
they're
Rosebud.
happy and they're proud to say they know you.
Right.
And like that you're a friend of theirs that they can just come up to and talk to.
and that's the reason, you know, that we did. I was like, you know, we need to bring back some of that customer relations. You know, we see some of the bigger companies out there, and I hate to say Walmart for one, you know, but you know that they're going to everywhere. Oh, check your own self out. We don't need to check you out. Y'all just check your own self out.
Yeah.
People don't like it.
No.
You know, they don't like that. They
No.
want to have a little bit of customer service to them. You know, I mean, that's what any business has always been about.
Right.
Your business that you have right now,
Yeah.
it's all about customer service.
I keep a girl there 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and I've had people ask me, "Why do you do that, Ryan? You're a 24-hour gym.
Yeah.
You sign them up, and then they come and go as they please."
Right.
I said it's about customer service.
That's exactly
I
what
want to
it's
make
about.
sure somebody's there in case anybody ever
Have a
needs help.
question, they need something. There's somebody there that can say, "Well, wait a minute, I can get somebody to help you."
Yeah, I don't need the money that bad.
You know,
I need money to survive. I have a house.
Right.
I need food. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I my true passion is helping people.
Right.
It is these businesses.
Yep.
Like that's where I find happiness. I'm not doing it for the money. And I've actually had people
No.
in business get upset with me, and they're like, Ryan, we all do it for the money. That's why we're doing it for the money. I'm like, no.
No,
You're
it's
doing
not.
it for the money.
Right.
I need to make money.
Right.
But
We all have to make money to live.
To live.
You know?
Yeah. But I'm trying to find ways to make money, but also help people. Any type of business I have, I'm like, how can I help my community, or how can I help the world? How can I better something?
Well, and that's exactly the reason why I'm in this business. I mean, I could retire. I don't have to have the Rosebud General Store.
Yeah.
You know, we've had the fire safety business, and it's to help people. And that's exactly what the fire safety business done.
Yeah.
It's to help people.
Yeah.
You know, and when I was young, that's what I learned. It's all about helping somebody else. If you help someone, it will come back around.
Were you always like
Automatic. Yep.
Always.
Always. It's never been any different.
That was something I learned that I loved.
And that is something, if people just learn that, they'll be a lot better off.
Yeah.
You know, you always, what you give will always come back. You know, it's just the way it is, you know, and if you help someone, it comes back around.
Sure it does.
And I don't care what, it doesn't have to be money. It can be anything. You just help someone else.
Yeah.
You know, and it will always come back around.
I think my favorite thing about the gym is when someone that has never worked out in their entire life comes into the gym and they're telling me they're going to work out for the first time in their life.
Right.
And so, you know, they're coming in, they want to sign up 24/7, and they like 24/7 because they can come when nobody's there.
Right.
Yeah, and because they're like, I don't know how to work out.
Right.
I don't know how to use the
Or
machines.
I might weigh too much, and I don't want other people to see me.
Yeah, yes.
You know, I get it.
And so I always offer. I've an incredible amount of people that I'm just like, well, you want me to work out with you?
Right.
And I think it helps them be a lot more confident in the gym.
Sure.
I give them a workout plan, and I will physically go out there and work out with them.
That's great.
And show them how to do it. And I know I've had people that had never worked out in their entire life came in, start working out with me,
Right.
and they just took the reins and took off with it. And still, I've been in business for 14 months now. A
Right.
year later, they're still working out.
That's awesome.
And to me, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Because
that's what it's about.
yes,
That is what it's about.
yes,
You
yeah.
know?
I don't think about the money I make off of
No.
them. I don't think about that stuff.
The money will come. I always told everybody that I've ever trained in my life, it's like if you do the right things, the money will bowl you over.
Yeah,
You won't be able to spend the money.
you got to be genuine though.
That's right.
It's got to be genuine.
And it has to be. You have to be able to go out there, do what you can do, like you are doing right now, helping people. You know, it doesn't matter if they're poor, rich. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, I always told people, I don't care how much money you got.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it ain't about that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, me neither.
It's not.
I think it helps coming from humble beginnings though.
Right.
You know, you said you grew up in Florissant, right?
Yeah.
So at what age did you move out to this area?
I moved out here when I was 25.
And was it Lost Valley that brought you out?
Actually, it wasn't. No, I was actually, my mom and dad owned the bar business, and they owned the old Sundance Saloon, which was in Union, and then they moved it to Owensville for a while. It was in Owensville where the old Mexican restaurant is now,
Oh, Main Street.
where Dos Primos is.
Okay.
That used to be
That was
the
before my
Sundance
time.
Saloon,
Uh-huh.
and then we moved it back to Union,
Uh-huh.
and then we kind of they got out of the business and retired.
Yeah.
And my dad, actually, he's still a guard out at Lost Valley. He's been there 20 years.
Oh,
And
really?
he works midnights and he's 80 years old.
And he just likes to work.
Yeah, he loves
likes
it
to work.
because he loves people.
Yeah.
He loves to talk to people. He's almost 80 years old. He doesn't have to work,
Right.
you know, but he works midnights out there.
Oh, really? That's well. I think I'll be the same way.
I mean, he's got to do something. You know, he's like you said. He goes, I can't sit around. I can't just sit around and do nothing.
Well, that's a whole lot of reason why this podcast came about.
Right.
Because I had went into the gym. I bought the gym, redid it, and there's still some things I need to do at the gym, and there's
Right.
always going to be things I have to do at the
Yeah.
gym.
Just like it is with the Rosebud General Store.
Yeah.
Always going to be something you got to do to it.
Yeah. But I knew I didn't want to be there Monday through Friday,
Right.
10 hours a day, 8 hours a day,
Right.
whatever. And so I knew I needed to get out, but I needed to get somebody there that I could trust and that could run it and would be a good candidate for that. So I got someone for that. She absolutely killed it. It's fantastic. Couldn't ask for a better manager for the place.
Good.
And yeah, I mean, it was worked out way better than I ever expected. Right. And I had an idea, and I started a little business, and it didn't take off quite as much as I thought. And so then I was like in this limbo where I had this great employee who's running the business, and now I'm like, what am I going to do? And I can't fire her because she's fantastic.
Right. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah. And I knew I couldn't, because she went on a trip to Europe for a month. Okay. And so I was watching The Office again for a month.
Oh boy, you were like, I know what she's doing.
Well, I was like caged up. I felt so caged up, and I just didn't like it, and I knew I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Right. I want to come to the gym. I come in and check in at the gym every day, but I can't do it every day. Right. And so the podcast came about. It was something I always wanted to do. Right. But it's kind of like, it's filling a void almost. And so I'm trying to pursue a couple other things right now, but they take some money. I'm trying to raise the money, come up with it, and it's taking me a little bit longer than I want to. But this podcast is something that I really enjoy, and it's helping me network. I don't think I would have ever been able to sit down with you and have this amazing conversation
without a podcast.
Without a podcast, yeah. And so this gives me an opportunity, almost an excuse, to get in touch with these people and just be like, hey, you want to come out and hang out?
And I've been watching your podcast.
Thank you.
I watched it with, was it Kathleen's?
Yeah.
On here. I've seen that one, and I've seen Dan with Snowensville.
That one's coming out. That whole podcast is getting ready to come out.
I knew that was getting ready to come up because I seen where he had done it. And,
tomorrow, actually.
And Dan, Dan's done great, and I mean he is really learning it. But and it's been a struggle. It's you know how it is. It's not easy.
Yep.
Everybody thinks, oh, look at them, man. Yeah. Well, that didn't come easy.
No.
It's all work.
I think the podcast definitely show, because I like to dive into people's past, and I like to know where they came from and the struggles and everything they've done.
Sure.
And I think it really just helps, at least me, respect people more because I get to see what they've gone through and their passions behind it all. Yep. And everyone that's came out has had a passion for what they do. And Dan's was an amazing one.
Yeah,
Dan's was amazing. Where he came from that little bitty shack.
24/7 doing what I mean he does. I mean it's
and he's straight focused on Snowensville. Yep. Me, I can't stay focusing on that.
I got to do a little both.
Yeah,
and that's why I am. I can't do it all one.
So this is whenever because I'm looking at buying something right now, and it's going to be the biggest thing I've ever done in my life.
Right.
And it was so big that the president of my bank, who I'd never met before, finally was like, I think I should meet this guy. And he came to me, and he came out and because it was pricey and it's going to be a big gamble for me.
It was kind of like with the Rosebud General Store with me. They were like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do this.
And that's when they came out. He's like, do you fear this? Is this something are you worried, anything like that? And I'm like, no, I don't fear it at all. And I'm excited. I need this.
Right.
I need this in my life for fulfillment. And so with you owning Shufire and owning the Rosebud General Store, is it a lot? Is it, or is it, are you that kind of person that needs those kind of things?
I need that, is it overwhelming at times? Yeah, it can be. But for the most part, it's a good thing. I've got good employees at both areas, both sides. And the hardest thing is to keep employees.
Yeah.
And keep good ones. It's hard to keep them today. It's a lot different than it used to be. When I grew up, doing the gasoline business, I worked for a place called Texas Discount Gas. I worked for Clark Oil. I worked for Standard Oil when it was Standard, not Amoco. And we were doing full service, constant, had the coin changers on the side, giving change back, the whole thing.
They paid at the pump with cash, right?
The cigarettes up on the box where you gave them their cigarettes when they pulled into the gas pump.
For like
You
just
know,
for
that's how
free,
they,
like a
no,
complimentary.
they paid for them.
Oh, okay.
But that's how you did it. You just gave them to them. They paid for everything right at the pumps. There was no going into a gas station.
Insane. Yeah, it's
You
insane
know?
that you just hand someone a cigarette
Right,
as
you
they're
hand
getting
them their
gas.
cigarettes, you pump their gas, you wash their window, check their oil. If they needed oil, you put oil in.
Yeah, full service.
You know, that it was full service, you
Yeah.
know. So, you know, now I kind of went back to that, and we're doing, you know, we will check oil if they need it checked, if
Yeah.
they ask us. We have had to do that for, you know, some of the older people. They can't
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I could see like my
And
grandma
and
really wanting
it
something
helps.
like
I mean, it has really been a plus for, you know, for the older generation. And then I did it also, you know, I kind of looked at both ends of this. In a today world, as we all know, we're talking about tech savvy, right?
Yep.
Cell phones. Out on the road, people are out, they're texting.
that.
So, you know, I was telling my wife, I said, you know, to go to the full service station, if a younger person comes in, and I can pump their gas, or one of my guys or girls that come out, they can pump their gas for them, and they can take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and these people can be on their phone at the pump and not on the road.
Yeah.
It might save one person's life.
Yeah.
And
It probably will.
Again, we was just talking to help somebody.
Yeah.
I think it will.
I think it will.
I think that, and we've already seen it. I've seen where people come in, and that's what they are. Oh, I'm gonna go check Facebook or Snapchat or
Yeah.
whatever it may be that they're on, Twitter. You know, because that's a today world that we live in. So you know, it's like, hey, if they can do that, and then they can get back out on that road, and their focus is the road, not their phone.
Yeah, because they don't have to hop out and get
You know?
gas and everything. So now
That's
they can
right.
sit there and they're like, oh, I got a text message.
Oh,
I
wow.
can send this
Right.
back real quick.
Hold
and
on,
be like,
I'll send it back right now.
Yeah.
While we're pumping their gas, washing their windows.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, wow, you guys did everything for me.
Yep.
And I've had even the younger people going, wow, but we've never had that before, because the younger people didn't know it.
yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I mean, you probably might have known it.
I
back
remember
when
Delano's.
used to have it.
And what's
Years
weird
ago.
is I never went to Delano's, but I do remember dating a girl and she went there one time and they did the full service thing.
Right.
And I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm like, this is weird. You're going to let them do that? You know, just, it was
Right.
different.
Right.
It was
Well,
different
and
at the
it
time.
is different, the young people today. I've had people come in, they're like, what? Oh, you're pumping our gas? You're
Yeah.
pumping it for me? And you're washing our... You're doing all that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They look at you like, whoa, I can't believe that,
Uh-huh.
you know? But they're getting used to it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It just takes them getting used to it again, you know? And it's like, once, it's like anything, it's repetitious. You know,
Yeah.
you repetitiously
Everybody
do it.
can use that windshield getting
Yeah.
clean too.
That's right.
Everybody's got bugs
Oh.
and all kinds of crap on it.
Every time they come in.
Uh-huh.
And then
I
they go
couldn't
out
tell
on
you
the
last
road,
time
they
I
can see
filled
again.
my washer fluid up.
Right.
So it's like I always need my windshield clean, and
We
it's
see
always
it-
empty,
we
and I can
see
never
it all
clean
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
You know, especially living out in this area and the gravel roads that everybody rides on, and the dust is just horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah. Now with these guys that are out there doing the full service, you and everybody else that's doing it, guys and girls, do you tip them? Should we tip them?
So they get good tips.
Yeah.
They've had great tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're making good money getting tips out there. Yeah,
Cool. That's good.
And I mean, it actually has surprised me and surprised a lot of the people that are doing it. They're just, wow, I didn't think that. Yeah, you know. And
But
it's
they're not
like,
working just for tips.
No,
They're getting paid hourly.
they're getting paid hourly.
Yeah.
So they don't work just for tips at all.
Okay.
And I tell people every day, hey, it doesn't cost you any more to come in there and let us pump it than it costs you to go over there and get out of your car and pump it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I've always told them, I said, right now, you know, it's nice weather and people are like, oh, I can pump my own. I can pump my own. I'm good.
Yeah.
I said, well, wait till it's 0 out and the wind's blowing
Yeah.
30 mile an hour.
Yep.
And then they're
When
going
your-
to
when your fingers are freezing, just get into
let
it.
you all go ahead and pump that gas for
Yep.
me. I'll sit in this warm car.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
then,
absolutely.
Then, they'll
Oh, I
be,
can see
then
that.
I can see it happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You
I
know,
can see it too.
said, so, you know, I joke with some of the people and I like, you know, because they're, you know, there's been regulars that's been in there and come in there all the time. And it's like, well, I get it. You know, hey, you know what? Nobody's had full service in 20 years.
Yeah.
So they they don't remember it. They don't get it. They're like, oh. And I've even had some of the older people go, God, it's been 25 years since I've had somebody pump my gas for me.
And you know the guy with the bad hip that has trouble getting in and out of his car? He loves it. And he's probably going to Rosebud.
The guy that's might be injured, the guy, our girl that's been injured, been hurt, can't get in and out.
Yeah, or
struggle we get a lot of older people, that come in that, they don't know how to use the cards. They have a hard time using their credit card in the pumps.
And maybe even hard to see the screen and stuff.
It's hard, right? So it just makes it so much easier for them because we've designed the pumps so it's easy. We don't have to have people's PIN numbers or anything to do.
Oh, you have an option for that?
Yeah, we don't need no PIN numbers at all.
So does it run as credit?
We run it as a credit. We run it right further. We do their zip code where they live. That's it.
Yeah.
And pumps their gas for them.
Piece of cake.
I mean, it's simple. And we did that, and I had them change it for that, so we could do it at the pump.
I didn't know that was an option.
Have to have that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We did it so it doesn't have to have that. So they don't have to ever put a PIN number in there if they don't want.
Cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Does it give you the option though?
Yeah.
Or you can choose credit or debit.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. John, I got a bottle of water there if you want some water. Let me see. I think we're good on time. We're hour and 13 in it though.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it goes quick.
Boy.
When we're sitting here chatting, it goes so quick. I've had a lot of people. It's because I send a lot of messages out and ask them if they want to come out on the podcast.
Right.
And there's some people that I think I'm going to interrogate them. Like I'm going to try to pull some deep dark secrets out. And I'm like, no, I just want to come and hang out and chat and actually just kind of like showcase you almost a little bit.
Right.
Like I'm always so fascinated with the people in our surrounding communities.
Well, hey, I appreciate you invite me out.
Yeah.
And because I really like what you're doing with the podcast. I think it's a great thing.
Thank you.
And it does spotlight, individual businesses and people of the business.
I want to get not just businesses, but I want to get talent, local talent too.
Absolutely.
Like I brought on Barely Covered. That was a blast.
Yep.
And I want to do
those
bands.
guys are great.
Yeah,
Great
I would love to see like teachers, principals.
Absolutely.
Any sports talent, like maybe like someone that's really good in high school, football player, baseball player, or college level too.
Absolutely.
All those people, I want to bring them out because
I think it'd be a great thing.
People in the community want to hear it. Yeah, and I'm reaching out to all communities, not just Owensville. I'm from the Owensville area, so I know quite a bit of people, but I've been reaching out all over the place because I would love to, even just the state of Missouri, just to see the talent in Missouri because there's a lot of it.
Oh, there's a lot of talent. Well, and and as we said, these communities that we're in, with being in Rosebud and in the surrounding communities.
Yeah.
I mean, in all the businesses that are just even here, not just in Rosebud, and then you go out, you go towards Herman, you got the White Mule Winery out there. Awesome people, love the Schlotticks, love those guys, and I mean, and they've done very well. All of them, they got Lions meat out there. Gus has gotten. I don't go anywhere else but out there actually.
Really?
To be honest.
That's where you get all your meat.
I get all my meat from there. He just did my pig for me. Actually, I bought one from the Owensville Fair. And he does that for me.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I mean it's great that what you're doing to help this whole community with this because this will not just help you in doing the podcast, it's going to help everybody in the community.
I think so too. And everybody listens to podcasts nowadays. Most people, they're driving either an hour or two or back from work,
and
or
they'll listen.
Yeah, I used to when I was a body man painter. It didn't matter if I was blocking on a car all day or if I was spraying a car 8 hours a day. It gets boring.
Yeah.
So I would throw a headphone in one ear and I would listen to podcasts.
Sure.
And I learned a lot. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I listen to a lot of podcasts too.
Right.
I listen to a lot of music too. But it helps the day go by. And almost everybody, if you're sitting behind a desk, if you're working HVAC, it doesn't matter what you're doing. No. You're doing something for 8 hours a day. And most of the time, you can put a headphone in and listen to your podcast.
I can't think of his name, the one with the long hair that he's done a ton of podcasts, and he has his own show.
In our area?
No, not in our area.
Long
No,
hair.
he's live, always live, and does a lot of the rock bands. He does everybody.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
Where's he from? Do you remember where he's from?
I think maybe California or someplace, but he does a ton of podcasts.
Huh.
And I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Just to listen.
Yeah.
You know, and he has all kinds of people. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care. It might be rock bands. It may be, like you was talking about, it might just be
Professors
teachers.
or fascinating people. Yeah.
Right. Just fascinating people that it's like, hey, you got to hear this.
Yeah. And that's my whole thing behind it
You
too.
know?
Let's hear it. Let's hear your
Yeah.
story. Let's hear what you're all about. Because there's some people that are just passionate about some crazy things out there.
That's right.
And I love learning.
Yep.
So let's hear
And
some
you'll
new
learn
stories.
something from everybody.
Uh-huh.
Everybody that does it. You know, like I said, I've been in the industry of sales my whole life, and I learn something every single day. You know, I learned something today just being here.
Really?
You know, absolutely.
You in like any other investments? I mean, Shufire Safety's huge
Yeah.
investment business. So is Rosebud General Store. You in anything else? I recently got into silver. You got any silver? Silver or gold?
Got a little bit of silver, got a little gold.
This is the
Got
first chunk of silver I ever
Bitcoins.
bought. You got into Bitcoin. You got into crypto?
Oh, I was in the crypto. I've been in the crypto. And I've seen it go whoop to all
Yeah.
the way to the bottom, but I've seen it go all the way to the top.
So how are you doing right now on it?
It's coming back again. And actually, just my son, I told him, I was like, he got in it and then he got out of it. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't, Dad. It's falling. It's falling."
Yeah.
I was like,
It
"You
did
can't
fall.
watch it."
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like a tumbling, like on a roller coaster. It's just
Uh-huh.
riding. So
So do you do stocks too?
you got to ride the ride with it, and just ride it out, and then know when to get out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
know when to stay in.
Crypto's very early still.
Oh, it's
Super, super early.
and there's a lot of millionaires from that business.
Oh, yeah. I got in.
Young people
Yeah.
that's made millions off of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got Bitcoin, I got Ethereum, and I got Shiba Inu.
Ethereum's the best one to be in.
I think so too.
It is.
I think that was the one that
Today,
I
it is
liked the most.
Absolutely the best.
Now, what about NFTs? You ever get into them?
No, but I can tell you that Ethereum, if you get in that and stay in that, you're gonna be
Gonna do all right. Yeah.
Because it's gonna be like the Bitcoin was.
Yeah.
That's the new Bitcoin.
Yeah, I could see that too. And
And
that's kind of what I heard. And I just put a healthy fair amount in.
When it's like anything in the today world, just what we was talking about. If you don't keep up with technology, you're going to be left over here behind.
Yeah.
Because technology is moving, and eventually everything is going to be that.
Yeah.
It's going to be electronic.
Yeah.
We all know that it's coming. It's there ain't going to be no more giving you $100 bill. You give me $100 bill. That's going to be gone
past.
down the line.
Right. Yeah, because also like the dollar is not, it's kind of, almost not a thing of the past, but everybody's using Venmo. They're trading that way and
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
It's only a matter of time
Venmo,
before they pick up.
PayPal,
Cash App, things like that.
Everything's going with a card.
Yeah. Right.
there.
Where they're just trading
Yep.
all online.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Now, I got in the silver because I follow a guy, and it's
Silver's good.
the Robert Kiyosaki guys.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
I follow him, and he talked about it.
Silver's always, any kind of metal will always be worth something.
Yeah.
Any metal.
Silver's not that expensive.
No,
Anybody
you
can
still
invest
buy-
in silver.
yeah. Gold's expensive.
A coin like this little silver coin right here.
Yeah.
This only cost me $25.
Right.
Cheap. Not much at all.
Right.
I got it on sale.
If you had a coin like that of gold,
Yeah.
that would be $2,500.
Yep. That's
Not 25.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
That'd be $2,500
Yeah.
for that coin.
Because I wanted to. I really wanted to
Yeah.
buy some gold, but I just could not pull the trigger on it.
And gold again is just like anything else. It
Goes up and down.
It's all that, any of the metal. But metal will always be worth something.
Yes.
If everything crashes out,
Yeah.
metal will be worth something.
Yeah, are they considered precious metals?
Yep.
Is that what they're considered, right? I guess there's four of them, right? Silver, gold, platinum, and something else.
Yeah, I forget what the last one is.
Something with a P.
It's I can't think of it. Right
Yeah.
now.
Well, that's not it.
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
And so that's why I got it. Well, because what ended up happening was with the market that shot up, just went crazy.
Right.
I had like real estate, and I had some old cars, and I was in it really, really well because I bought before the market.
Right.
And a lot of like the old cars and stuff, they were paid off.
Right.
And the houses weren't paid off, but I was in them really cheap. So I sold a lot of stuff because I knew it wasn't going to last forever.
Right.
And so I'm like,
housing
I
market,
won't
like
get,
right now, housing market. I got rid of one of mine. It was like, nope.
Yeah.
Rental gone.
Yeah.
I mean, price shot up crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I didn't sell everything,
and it's
but
probably not gonna. It's not gonna stay there. We know that. I mean,
I've already
that
seen it
market's
changing.
It's already dropping.
I bought a house in May.
Right.
I had basically got the offer on it in February, but they couldn't sell it till May.
Right.
And I was scared because I knew things were going to be changing.
Right.
I was like, I don't know when, but I know it's going to change.
It's not going to stay there.
And I bought it in May. Didn't get to sell it till I didn't get a contract on until July.
Right.
And I bought it just to sell it.
Right.
And from what it was appraised at the beginning of May to whenever I sold it was like $40,000 difference, $30,000 difference. And
less. Yeah.
Less.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Because the market dropped. It's
Yeah.
like, oh.
The interest rate shot up.
Oh, yeah.
And so everybody's
Yep.
like, oh, money's not cheap anymore.
Right.
And then so I was just, I was glad to get rid of it.
Right.
Let's just say that.
Right. You got rid of it, and it's like, well, okay, got rid of it. Yeah.
But I did
There's a lot
super
of people
well.
made a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
You know, when the
I
housing market went
did
up.
too.
But in
Not a
that
lot, but
market,
yeah.
the problem is, though, is going to be for somebody that bought a house for that price. What are they going to do 10 years from now when that house isn't even
Goes
worth
down.
what they paid 10 years ago?
Yeah. Yep.
That's going to be the big problem.
Yep. I've talked to
people are going to see.
I
You know,
I'm
unfortunately, that is how it is. And it's kind of like we've seen where people, you know, I have a good friend of mine says, oh, you know, his wife wanted to sell his house, and he's like, oh, I'm going to sell my house. I can get a lot of money for it right now. But he's like, yeah, but I got to go buy a house for a lot of money.
yeah.
I was like, it's fine if you can sell it and then go stay somewhere for maybe a year before you go buy a house, so the market drops a little bit for you to buy another one. Otherwise, if you're living in that,
Well, I'm actually renting to a lady that did that, and she came to me. I had a duplex that was open, and she had came to me, and she had told me, she had her life together,
Right.
and she had told me, she's like, well, Ryan, she's like, I have a nice house right now, and I love it. She's like, but the market's up right now, and everybody's telling me to sell because I can make a bunch of money. She's like, I'm thinking about renting from you, and I'm just going to lay low for a year or so and hope the market changes. And she was telling me what she owed on the house, and she was telling me the details on it. And her name's Sharon. And I was like, Sharon, put that house up for sale to sell next week.
Right.
You can move in here, and you're going to make some serious money.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have the balls to do it, but she did it.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, Ryan.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. And I put her under contract.
Yep.
And she put her house on the market that following week, got an offer above what she was asking. She was asking what she thought. I told her, I said, Sharon, list it for $20,000 more than whatever you want. Like if you think it's worth $150, lift it for $20,000 more.
Right.
She did it and still got more money for it.
Oh yeah.
And she's going to do really well.
Yep.
She's going to do really, really well. And so I tried to do it. I just couldn't find a place to go. All my rental properties were full.
Right.
And out here I had a shop. You know, I work out. I don't do much out of it anymore, but that's the point of having my shop is so I can work out of it.
If you want to.
Yeah, and so and actually whenever I bought this place, I bought it cheap.
Right.
I bought it when the market was still really down.
Right.
I was in it really cheap, and I refinanced
right
at the beginning when everything dropped down to
It all
3%.
dropped.
I refinanced, and so I have a stupid cheap interest rate. I have a stupid cheap house, and I just couldn't. Even this house I just bought to flip, I was thinking about moving there, and I'm like, I would be at the same payment for half the house.
That's right.
So I'm like, it just doesn't make sense.
No, it makes no sense.
Because the housing market was still inflated, so the worth
it
of the
was.
house just
It was
didn't
way
make it worth it.
inflated.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody knew eventually it was gonna not be there.
Mm-hmm.
it couldn't withhold it. You know, it's no way.
Yeah.
And down the line, it's going to be a killer for people that bought them homes, you know, for that kind of money. That went out and bought these houses and went, oh, you know, and it's like.
Yeah,
I mean,
killer in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like,
hurtful. It's going to be in a hurtful way because it's like, I couldn't even believe these people were, you know, I had on the house that I was selling, you know, I had people going, they were going to give us, no matter what, he goes, I'll get $500 more than anybody offers on it.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Right. Right. It's insane to think that.
It's like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. People were doing that all the time too. That was like the normal.
Was like the norm.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow.
I'm glad. I am grateful that I wasn't in that market.
Right.
Like I wasn't one of those people that had to be in that market.
I'm like, woo.
It had to be stressful.
Oh my gosh, I have to buy a house like that, and
then imagine needing to move in a year when the market drops. You have $100,000 extra in this house because the market was up, and you try to sell it and you can't get it.
No,
and you're like, well, I got to ask $250 for it because you're upside down.
You're totally upside down in it,
and you just got to take the hit.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
worse than the car that you'd go buy. It's like, oh gosh, you're going to be upside down in that car.
Yeah,
and now, in that house, you're going to be upside down.
So what do they do? Just take the hit?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's all they can.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree. I talked to some people about it. I'm like, you can either you got to stay there or you got to take the hit.
That's right.
That's it. You're much better off buying in a low market, and then when the interest rates go low,
much better off doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally agree with that.
Well, it's kind of like we was talking about when the silver, gold, anything, Bitcoin, whatever it may be, you always buy low, sell high.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did with I sold a lot of this stuff off, and I was just like, I'm going to wait till the market changes. But I never dabbled in gold or silver.
Right.
And I heard this Robert Kiyosaki, I follow him, and he talked about it a bunch. And I'm like, I could splurge a little bit just to get, because that's how I learn. I might lose money on it, but that's how I learn. I buy it.
You only learn
just
by
start getting in it.
You know, I always tell people, if you don't go out after something, where are you going to be?
Yeah. Yeah. Right at the beginning, wherever you started from.
That's right.
Yeah. You never go anywhere if you just stay where you're at.
You tell me that guy that's climbing up that hill and he stops climbing, which way do you go?
Yeah. Downhill.
Going down.
Yeah. You're not going to go up.
You're never going to go up.
Nothing's going to pull you up.
Right, until you get up it.
Yeah.
So if you get halfway up and you decide, I'm just going to stop, well, you're not going to stay there.
Yeah.
It's going to, eventually you're going back down. You're going to go down below where you're even at.
It's all getting out of your comfort zone. This podcast here, I didn't imagine how much it was really going to pull me out of my comfort zone. But I have almost half the guests that I have come out, or probably even over half of them, are people I've never met before or have met in a very short manner. Right. And there is a little bit of like, holy crap. I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Right.
Because I don't script nothing.
Well, right. And
it's all off the cuff, and we're sitting here chatting.
That's the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. Because then you learn more that way.
I've learned so much already.
You know, and just like I said, I am so glad that I've got to be on your podcast.
I'm so glad you came out, John.
And I will tell you that, that it's going to do nothing but grow for you. I can tell that just by talking to you.
Thank you.
It's definitely going to grow for you.
Yeah.
And you know what? There'll be a day you're going to look back and go, wow.
Yeah.
I started here and look what I got now.
Yeah. Well, did we talk about this at the beginning of the podcast? Because I had wanted to add you, or I had wanted to ask you to come on it.
Right.
So I just add you on Facebook.
Okay.
And I had intentions of sending you a message saying, "Hey, John, I don't know you, but I'd love to have you on the podcast." And I just ended up sharing a post about the podcast. You had commented on it.
I did.
And I was like, "Oh, thank God! That took so much pressure off of me." And so I just shot you a message, and you're like, "I'd love to come out." And so it definitely helped me a lot. And that, whenever I can message someone and they're all about it, it takes a lot of pressure off of me. But I'm still always optimistic on everybody that I find interesting that I want to send a message to. Cause
I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing.
So something I want to do before we end this podcast is I've been having everybody sign my banner here.
Okay.
And I'm basically just going to tat it all up with everybody's signatures, and I'm hoping to fill it one day.
Okay.
I got a lot of real estate to fill here. but
Yep.
it's filling up already.
Yep.
And I would like I would like you to put Shufire Safety and Rosebud General
Okay.
and your own signature on there.
I'll do it.
Anywhere you want.
Absolutely. I will do it.
Because I think we're about an hour and a half in. Yeah, so we're about an hour and a half in now. So it takes, in an hour and a half podcast, it takes me probably 3 hours to edit it. If the audio is good. If the audio is bad,
Right.
my first podcast took me 8 hours to edit.
Wow.
Yes, because, and I wasn't really, I didn't know what to expect. It was my first podcast, and I didn't realize how bad the audio was going to be if they leaned back or didn't take the mic with them. And so they were just moving around a lot, and the audio was all over the place. So I had to stop, cut,
Right.
edit, boost
All
the
of it,
audio up.
right.
And it was an hour and a half podcast, and
you're
I
like,
spent
"Oh."
all day on it. It was so much, but I learned a
that's
lot.
cool.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
I'm like, make
Well,
sure they bring it with
And
you.
you know how it is. You learn from your mistakes.
Yep.
It's something that I've learned over all the years of doing any kind of sales at all. And everything has to do with that. We all know that. I don't care what part of life you're in. It doesn't matter if you're actually in sales or not. You always are in some part of it.
You're selling something, whether
That's
you're
right.
selling yourself
That's
for
right.
the labor that you want to do if you're in construction,
Yep.
or if you're selling
Yeah.
was that your phone?
That was my phone. Yeah.
or whether you're selling a product
Right.
for your
That's
business.
right. It doesn't
You're
matter
always
what
selling
it is.
something.
You're always, whether you're going on a job interview, you have to sell yourself to the people and go, hey, I'm the one for this job. I'm the one that should be here. I'm the one that should work for you.
Right.
So, it's always going to be about that. And we're always going to fail. I tell people, if you don't fail, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Right.
You're not digging out there deep enough.
Yeah.
Because you should fail. We
Yeah.
all will fail. But you know what? That's how you climb back up.
Yeah. You fail, you learn. You fail, you learn.
That's right.
Each time you take a little step
Take
higher.
that step higher.
That's like what I was talking about with the silver.
Yep.
I
Same
know
way.
nothing about it. And I knew nothing about it. And I tried doing some research, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about this. Screw
Right.
it. I'm just going to buy some
Yeah,
silver.
I'm gonna get some.
And we're going to see what happens.
Right.
That's how I've done it with real estate.
And
It's how I've done it
silver,
with business.
It's gotten big. It went up.
Yeah.
It grew quite a bit.
I've been watching it.
Yeah.
It's been growing.
I mean, I tell you, it's like with anything. When you're doing the silver, gold, Bitcoin, whatever it is
Yeah.
out there, don't watch it every day.
Yeah.
You watch it
Even
every
your
day,
weight.
you'll be like, oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah. Same thing with people trying to lose weight in the gym. I'm
Right,
like,
yeah,
if you're
it's
watching that every
You
day,
watch
it's
it every
not
day
going to
and
drop.
think you're going to lose 10 pounds tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's an over time. And, and it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Absolutely. Well, John, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate
Anybody that is listening to the podcast still, make sure stop in Rosebud General, get you some of the cheapest gas around.
Right.
John's doing an amazing job up there, changing a lot of stuff. If you ever need anything to do with fire safety in your house,
Right.
give Shufire Safety a call. He'd be happy to help,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And then, I never plug myself, but if you're watching the video, make sure you like and subscribe, because that's really what helps me grow.
That's right.
That's what helps other people on YouTube connect to my videos. Subscribing is what also, helps me grow on YouTube's algorithm. And so I always forget to tell everybody that, but thanks for coming out, John.
Hey,
I
been a
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Been a pleasure.
I had a great time, and I think the podcast was great too.
Thank you.
Cool.